everyone. I'm going to read you a story, and it's from a wonderful cookery book written by Nadia Hussain, and each of the stories go with a recipe. So I'm going to read the story to you, and then we'll think about making the recipe. One day, a man and his wife were walking in the woods a few miles from home. They were happy because they were about to have a baby, but it was also a sad day as the man had just lost his job. He was an optician, yet all of a sudden, no one in the village seemed to need glasses anymore. The man suspected that it had something to do with a rumour about an old lady in the woods who grew and sold the most stupendous carrots. They were said to be the largest, crispest and brightest orange carrots anyone had ever seen. Some even said they were enchanted, and everyone knew that eating carrots helped your eyesight. As the man and woman wove their way through the trees trying to cheer each other up, they came across a tiny cottage. "That's odd," said the woman. "I've never seen that cottage before, and I walk in the woods all the time." They peered over the gate and gasped at the sight of a huge vegetable garden bursting with life. There were cabbages, courgettes, green beans, and row upon row of carrots. "Let's have a closer look," the man whispered. There didn't seem to be anyone around, so he took his wife's hand and they crept through the gate. The man kneeled down and pulled the leafiest carrot out of the ground. It was so orange it could have glowed in the dark, and it looked mouth-wateringly juicy. The man offered the carrot to his wife. She took a bite. And the crunch echoed through the garden. Before they knew it, they had crunched and munched their way through all the carrots in the vegetable patch. They curled up for a nap in the cabbage patch, their tummies full. The sound of a door slamming woke the snoozing man and woman with a start. A wrinkly, warty old lady loomed over them, wagging her bony finger and shouting.
"How dare you steal all my carrots? You'll pay for this," she yelled.
The sorry pair were very embarrassed and promised to pay the old lady back as soon as the man got a new job, but she just turned and stomped away, muttering under her breath. A few months later, the man and his wife had a beautiful baby girl they called Rapunzel. She was the light of their life. The man found another job and went back to the woods. Everything was happy again for the man and his wife until one morning when they found their daughter's bed empty. They were distraught. It was all over the news and everyone in the country was searching far and wide for the little girl. But it was no surprise that no one could find her, for the old lady from the cottage, who was really a witch, had snatched her and imprisoned her in a high tower block. Rapunzel's room in the tower block only had one window and one door, and it had a little kitchen that she loved to use. The witch would visit every morning bringing carrots with her, so Rapunzel got really good at carrot recipes. She also had a karaoke machine and a chest stuffed full of thousands of pairs of glasses. So she baked and sang karaoke and examined the glasses day after day. She found glasses completely fascinating, but she couldn't work out why. By now, Rapunzel's hair had grown really long, so that the old witch would call up to the window, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Rapunzel would gather up her hair, which she plaited into a hefty rope. Then she would throw it out of the window and wait for the witch to climb up. This was the only life poor Rapunzel knew. One day, a young man came riding past the tower block on his shiny green BMX. The sound of Rapunzel singing karaoke was so beautiful, it nearly made him fall off his bike. The boy hid behind a nearby holly bush and looked up at the window. The singing girl was as lovely as her voice, and he fell head over heels for her in a heartbeat. He could not believe his eyes when an old warty lady came along, called to the girl and climbed up the long hair. The boy was a bit shy. He came back day after day, but he could never pluck up the courage to do anything about love for her. But one day her singing was just so unbearably lovely, he ran to the bottom of the block, copied what he'd heard the witch calling, and climbed up the plaited hair that dropped down to him. Rapunzel couldn't believe her eyes when a boy with a friendly smile tumbled through her window instead of the witch. They ate carrot cake and talked for hours about all the things Rapunzel hadn't done, like ride a bike or go to the cinema or ice skate. When the boy climbed back down her plait, he promised Rapunzel that he would save her and teach her how to ride his BMX. The next day, the old lady snagged Rapunzel's hair as she climbed. "Ow! The boy didn't pull my hair when he climbed up yesterday. Maybe you should start using the lifts," Rapunzel blurted out before she realised what she'd said. The witch was very angry that someone else had been in the room, and she chopped off Rapunzel's lovely hair with the bluntest fish knife in the kitchen. The boy arrived that afternoon, shoved his BMX under the holly bush and called up to Rapunzel. The plait tumbled down and the boy climbed up it, but to his horror, the witch was waiting at the top. She pushed him from the tower and he fell head first into the holly bush, prickling his eyes on the spiky leaves. He could barely see. Rapunzel looked out of the window at the boy she loved, staggering about with his hands over his eyes, and something snapped inside her. She grabbed the plait and used it to tie the witch to a chair. Then she grabbed a freshly baked batch of carrot cookies, wrapped up as many pairs of glasses as she could find in a bedsheet, and left the tower and the witch behind forever, singing with joy as she went. Down on the ground, the boy could hear her song, but couldn't believe it when she got closer and closer until it was right in his ear. He couldn't see very well, but he knew it was his Rapunzel. She spread out the bedsheet on the floor, guided the boy to sit down, and fed him a cookie to make him feel better. Then she rootled around in her glasses until she found the perfect pair. She slid them onto the boy's nose, and he gasped. He could see again. They spent the whole afternoon eating carrot cookies, doing wheelies on the BMX, and making plans for the future. "What do you want to be when you're older, Rapunzel?" the boy asked. "An optician," she replied. "It just feels like it's who I am." Now, if you would like to make carrot cookies just like the ones Rapunzel made, you can have a look at the recipe that my friend Flopsy Bunny has made. And she used this recipe, but there's another video and you can watch it and make your own.